Good afternoon, almost. In about 9 minutes, it's going to be afternoon. Right, we had 2 people, now we have 1 people. So, let me know who's here. I'd like to do an audio check, so chime in, let me know you're here. And then we'll cut down the music and see how the audio is. And now we have 2 people watching. Good. Good, Bob. Thank you. Let me turn off the music. Okay, Bob. Good to see you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're watching this, I hope it's all good. So, Bob, how's the audio sound here? Trying to get the mic positioned so I don't have any plosives, but you can still hear me clearly. So that's what I'm trying to do here as we prepare for GoFor Lunch number 40 on this February the 9th. 2021. So we're checking our audio here and waiting for someone to comment on whether the audio is working well enough. Sounds good. Thank you, Bob. I guess I'm a frustrated weatherman. Thank you, Kay, and good day. We're doing all natural light today. No problem. Well, see you later. So Kurt just messaged me that he was going to have to watch the replay, so I was dictating a iMessage back to Kurt. "12 degrees in Milwaukee." Yes, folks, that's why we live here in the Sonoran Desert. As I think maybe Bob told me one time, it's not a big deal to shovel sunshine. It's pretty easy. Hello, Doriana. And now the music will begin. Once again, strike up the band. everybody, to the Go for Lunch pre-show. Getting warmed up here, ready to go. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how to do a standing desk, so I'll have energy by standing up. But right now, I have too much equipment here on my Mac table. So I thought there was a bug on the iPhone because when you plug it into the computer, it changes the time to 9:41 in the upper left-hand corner, and it doesn't move. It just says 9:41 anytime it's plugged in. So apparently that's some significant time in Apple lore. I don't remember what it was when the first iPhone was introduced or something like that. So apparently it's a feature, not a bug. Stanley wants to know if it's true that Apple came out with a remote control for the Apple TV. So that's a good question, Stanley. So there is a company in Switzerland, I believe, that actually a cable company that instead of giving their customers a cable box, they give them an Apple TV as their cable box. And with that, they gave them a redesigned remote. And I think somebody may be reselling that remote. But I'm not certain about that. But if I'll see if I can find out more about that and let you know, Stanley. That's a good question. Good morning, Betty. Thanks for joining us. Okay, we've got about a minute to go here. Hi, Carolyn. Glad to see you. Yes, good morning, good afternoon. And for those of you watching the replay, good evening, wherever you might be. Well, good day wherever you might be, whenever you might be watching. Welcome to Go for Lunch number 40, the big 4-0. So thanks for joining us. We have Judy that is with us along with everybody else. So I appreciate you tuning in. And we are going to learn some new stuff today, which is always the goal here, is to find out how to better utilize your technology. So that's what we're going to do today. So if you are new here, if you've never seen this before, please type new in the comments so we can get to know you. My name is Roger Harmon with GoFor Technology, where we make your technology work for you instead of the other way around. So let's go and find out about a program that is called Grammarly. So Grammarly is a application that works both on your Mac and your iOS device, your iPhone or your iPad. So I have a frog jumping around in my throat here. So we're going to contend with that. So we're going to talk about this program, and it is what we call a freemium program. So freemium means that part of the features are available for no cost, but if you want more advanced features, you have to pay them some money, which, you know, they deserve some money because they've worked hard on this program. So they have either a monthly or an annual subscription. So how can you use Grammarly? Well, it will work in most everything that you do where you're dealing with text on the Mac or your iPhone or iPad. So it will work in a mail program. It'll work on a word processing program. Now in Pages, it doesn't work inside Pages, but what you would do, as we'll show you here shortly, is you would compose your text in the Grammarly app, and then after you get your text all straightened out and lovely, then you would just paste it into Pages and then do the formatting. So, and that's the way normally you would do a word processing document, is you get the text right first and then you do the formatting. You don't try to do both corrections and formatting at the same time. You know, nail down the text and then do the formatting to make it look pretty. Now, if you are a Microsoft Word user, they do have a plug-in for Word that lets you use Grammarly inside Word. So that's nice. And a place where you will use it a lot would be a web browser. So that is a good place to help you when you're on the web, when you're doing any kind of comments or anything. It will check you before you go out there so that you look good on the web. So that's why you might want to use Grammarly, to make you look good. So it catches these little mistakes. It helps you present a clear, easily understood document, whether it's a few words, a few paragraphs, or of course, if you're on a bigger project, if you're writing a book or you're writing a short story, you're doing a report for a work or for a organization that you're involved in, then Grammarly is on your side, helping you to proof your document, catching those little things that we sometimes miss. So we're going to look at Grammarly. And I was wondering, does anybody out there use Grammarly right now? I see that Leslie Ann has joined us. She has frogs in the trees. I have frogs in the throat. So, you know, frogs are everywhere today. So let me give you a little, this is like a story time. So let's do this. I'm going to jump in here and show you my mail, which is, okay, so now let's see here. Okay, so let's see if I got that right. So there we are on mail. Hi, Barbara. Thanks for joining us. So I got this message here from Grammarly. They said, you've gone off the grid. So I've been using Grammarly for years, and what happened was that I got this new Mac Mini M1 Apple Silicon computer, and I didn't transfer any data from an existing computer. I just started fresh so that I could just add things as I needed it. So I didn't have Grammarly transferred from an old computer. So I had forgotten about Grammarly, but Grammarly had not forgotten about me. So they, as you can maybe see here, they've sent me lots of little messages. They send you a message that tells you how many mistakes that they have caught for you. So let's just log in here to Grammarly and see what happens. Okay, so Grammarly is logging on. So the first thing we see here is, I'm going to get rid of mail. So we're going to quit mail. There we go. So here we are in Grammarly, and they are saying, oh, look, we see that you're using Safari, but you don't have the Grammarly Safari plugin. So we're going to click here on Add Safari. It's free. And before we do that, we'll just show you what the Grammarly website looks like. So here on the left, you have your account information. Here's a little badge with a number 4 on that. So that means it's got 4 things it wants us to know about. Here's how you would upgrade to premium. And of course, you could log out. So let's see what this badge is all about. So I'm really, I'm working without a net today. I am doing this without doing it ahead of time because I wanted to have you share the whole experience of installing Grammarly. And I couldn't really do that if I had already installed Grammarly on this computer. So now you can see that here's Grammarly for Microsoft Word, which is new to the Mac. They had it on Windows before, but it's relatively new, so you could install that. Then we have Grammarly for Mac OS, and it says here that, I don't think you can see that. Let's see if I can move that over. There we go. So it says here that it is active, and we'll look at that. And then they have Grammarly for Safari, which we're going to install here in a second. And then they have Grammarly for your phone or your iPad. So you can see here, here's Grammarly for the iPad and for the iPhone. So let's start with Safari. So we're just simply going to click on Install. There we go. So Grammarly for for Safari, and we brought up the App Store. So let's see, can you see the App Store? Yes, you can. Okay. So we're going to click on Get. So this is kind of interesting that the App Store on the Mac has now become more like the App Store on iOS. And we're going to click on Install. And of course, it wants to know our Apple ID. So it filled in the Apple ID for me. And it wants to know my Apple ID password. So it's just password. Just kidding. So we get the little progress circle here. And it's finishing up. And we're going to click on Open. And now it's showing us a little video here of how this works. And when I say little video, for some reason, it's not really showing us the whole screen there. So we're going to click on Open Settings to enable Grammarly here in the green. So there's our settings. So now we are in Safari extensions. Okay. So you can see here I have 1Password as an extension. I have Evernote as an extension. I have Honey, which is an app that tells you the best prices when you're shopping. And here is Grammarly for Safari, which is not checked. So we will simply check Grammarly, and then Apple, because they're so security minded, will say, are you sure you want to turn this on? We are sure. So now Grammarly is checked. We can close this window, which is in the background. So that window is gone. And now it shows that it knows my email address. and we're about to sign into the Safari extension using my Grammarly account. Now the account was already set up because I, again, have been using Grammarly for years, so that's nothing new, but it has not been on this machine. So it's telling us what it does, takes care of mistakes. So text that has critical mistakes, text that has minor mistakes, text that has no mistakes. So you get credit for not making mistakes. That's kind of nice. So the Grammarly logo means Grammarly is active in your writing. So this is telling us about how Grammarly works. So we're going to click on Next here. So it's telling us that it is active in Safari, and it will review and accept Grammarly suggestions as you are writing. So what you do is you hover on the underlines to see Grammarly's suggestion, and then you click on it to apply the change. So you don't have to accept their change, but you can by clicking. And then in the lower right hand corner you can click on the Grammarly logo to go into deeper checking. So checking the logo will open up an editing window, and you can see additional details about Grammarly's suggestions. So that's kind of giving us a little tour of how Grammarly works. So you see the animation there on the screen showing you what happens in the lower right hand corner, and it has several different categories that it checks. So we are done with this, and we are all set. So we're going to go back to Grammarly, and apparently, normally when you click on a logo on a website, it takes you back to that website. Okay, so we're going to close this window, and up here it says a new Safari extension is available. Turn on Grammarly. Okay, so we have actually already done that, so we don't need to do that. So we're going to close this tab by clicking on the little X here to the left of the tab. So now we have a couple of questions here. Let's talk about those right now. So Judy says that she is using Grammarly, and Leslie Ann wants to know, does it correct than me? Well, that's a great question. So let's we will check that. Than me, remember that. So here we are. So we have installed Grammarly on Safari. So let's see what happens. So up here in the URL field, we have this little circle with an arrow on it, which is the refresh. We're going to click on that, and let's see if it figured out that Grammarly is active in Safari, and in fact it did. So it knows that it's good. So we're going to click on active here and see if that does anything, and it doesn't. So we are going to use that shortcut that is the best tip that I've ever given you, Command spacebar, which brings up Spotlight, and we're going to just type in Grammarly. So we have Grammarly on Safari, but we want Grammarly, the app. So I am not seeing it as an app. So as we scroll down here, you can see Spotlight has found all sorts of email messages that have Grammarly in the email. And here's bookmarks, here's a presentation, which we're watching right now in Keynote, but there is no app here for Grammarly. So we're going to hit Command Spacebar again to get rid of Spotlight, and we're going to go over here and reinstall, because I think what they, so up here you see in the upper right hand corner we get a little progress bar. We can click on this little down arrow inside a circle to show downloads. And there's Grammarly. We click on that, show it in the Finder, and there it is. Now we're going to double click on it. It's in our Downloads folder. Double click, and it's opening the Grammarly app. So it's a .dmg, which is a temporary folder. And so down here, simply drag the Grammarly icon into the Applications folder icon, and that will, we got a little tone. I don't know if you heard that. So from here, we are going to double click on the Applications folder, and you can see this is an alias by the little black arrow in the lower left-hand corner. So there we go. Now we are in the Applications folder, and this might look different to you because we are operating on Big Sur. So they have changed the look a little bit of Big Sur. So another little trick, when you're in any kind of a list on a Mac, you can type a letter and it will scroll to that section of the list. So right now we're in the S's and T's. If I hit a G as in Grammarly, it goes up to the first G, and there is Grammarly. It's an application, and then there's Grammarly for Safari. So we're going to double click on Grammarly. This is the app. So it's going to open, and it's telling us that this is an app that came from the internet. Well, we kind of knew that, didn't we? So that's okay. So now we are waiting for it to do something. There it is. Okay, so now we're in the Grammarly app. So I have an account, so I can sign in. So this is the Grammarly editor for the Mac. So there we go. So we're going to sign in. And we're not going to change anything. So we're going to allow this page to open Grammarly. And so we can see the bubbles there, and now we're in the Grammarly app. So you notice up here in the upper left-hand corner, next to the Apple logo, it says Grammarly. So we know we're in the Grammarly app. So we are going to clean up the desktop a little bit here. And so here we have the option of importing something, or we can use their demo document. So what I'm going to do is import something. So I have this little pet peeve about the lack of proofing on news in our local area. Well, here's another tour. I think this may be the same. No, it's a little different tour. So we're going to look at this little tour here, and you can see all the things that it will do: resolve parallelism, check word usage, and change a verb form. So this will help you become a better writer. So we'll see feedback that is organized over here on the right. You can kind of see this here, it's in gray. And help you with fluency, with clarity, with grammar, and punctuation. Now, again, some of these features are only in the premium version. So it's not going to do everything. So it goes beyond grammar to give you clear, compelling, and concise suggestions for your writing. And you can tell what type of writing you are doing, whether it be formal or casual or business. So it has a lot going on. And so here's your goals, so you can tailor it to the audience that you are intending this to go to. So whether it be academia or business, general, informal, formal, all that stuff. So we're going to start writing. Okay, so what I did, and again, operating without a net here. So I may fall flat on my face. And you didn't see spotlight. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a document. So I'm going to go up here to the Apple menu in the upper left-hand corner. I'm going to go down to Recent Items, and I'm going to go to a document called Samples, which I prepared earlier. So now I'm in Text Edit with my sample. I'm going to hold down the Command key and press the A for all, select all. So it turns blue. I'm going to hit the Command C for copy. I'm going to click back into the Grammarly app. I'm going to hit Command V Victor for paste. And there it is. Okay, so this is a story that I took off the internet a few minutes ago by one of our local news reporting agencies. I'm not going to say who it was. So it has found some problems here. So you can see here the word upsizing. Grammarly says this is a word, not two words. Okay, so you see that. So then what you would do here is click on the green and it changes it. Now it goes to the next problem here. So here's its, ITS, and we're going to replace that word. And here's another one where it should be it is, where it is on total lockdown because it's not possessive. So any of you English majors, feel free to help me out here, but hopefully that's right. So you can see it's going down the list here. Here's another its. And if we just hover here, so we click our spelling, again, now see we're going the other way. So now it's a possessive. Okay, so now we're down here to that's not where we're at. So again, this is a mistake. It should be a contraction. Is that right? We're, and now you see it's a seller's market. So if we click here, sellers should be apostrophe S. So this is working. So here the city and county are shut down. We click over here on the right where it says shut down. And because it's the city and the county, it's plural, shut downs. So you see how this is working? It is, and this is the free version. So here we go. We're back to changing is to it is. And then we have another one here. So this should be are instead of is. Isn't this fun? So then we have this to. It says it seems to be that the preposition may be incorrect here. So the sentence says itself had to figure out to. So it's completely unnecessary. Should say just figure out how. So we're going to just go in here and backspace and fix that one. Now we have here where it says real time should be hyphenated. And then the next one here is, so it's saying it appears that literally may be unnecessary in this sentence. Consider removing it. So we're going to click here on the red and it removed it for us. So here's another one that says it actually may be unnecessary in this sentence. So you see here how it's making your writing clearer and easier to understand and getting rid of unnecessary wordiness. And last but not least, we have own, and it's saying that it is redundant. So it should say it was putting stress on my health. So own is redundant. We click on the red and it takes it out. So over here on the right, It says our correctness is looking good. Our clarity is very clear. We are very engaging. Our delivery is slightly off. And there's 43 other things we could do if we paid them some money. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of how this Grammarly works. So, okay, so we have Leslie, and let's get up here and start with the beginning. Okay, so then me. Let's do this. Let's see if I can, well, we'll just open Grammarly. Okay. We're going, I don't know why it's doing this again. So I'm going to just take this. I'm going to do Command A to select all, and I'm going to type then me. And so it's calculating over here. You see it's calculating. And I guess it didn't have any problem with then me. So does that answer your question, Leslie Ann? So let's see what else we got here. So Doriana asks a great question. Is there Grammarly for Chrome? Yes, there is Grammarly for Safari, for Firefox, and Google Chrome. So Susan says that Grammarly is incorrect on shutdowns, okay? And Leslie Ann agrees with Susan. So it's not perfect. What can I tell you? So that's the way the old... Okay, so Susan says that then me needs to be in a sentence to be corrected. Oh, okay. All right. So if you want to put a sentence there, Leslie Ann, I will paste it in and we'll see what happens. So let's jump into Safari. So we're going to open Safari here. So we're in Safari. We're going to open a new window. So first of all, what I'm going to do is go to Safari in the upper left-hand corner. And I'm going to go down here to hide others to clean up my desktop so it's clear what's going on. So now we're in Safari. So now I'm going to go to a website where we can, let's just go to, give you an example maybe of, I'm really flying without a net on this one. So we're going to go here and we're going to go over here. We're going to go to YouTube. So as you can see, all I had to do was type a YouTube, and we're going to search for GoFor technology. So this is how you can find our replays. You don't want a space in there between go and for. You want go for one word. Okay. So we're going to hit return. Oh, that's interesting. We didn't get to go for technology. That usually works. Okay, searches related to go for technology. So I guess it's not as easy as it used to be. So apparently YouTube changed something here. Because when I've done this before, maybe it doesn't like the lowercase letters. Let's just find out here. So we'll make that a capital G, make that a capital T. It shouldn't make a difference. And we'll hit return again. Huh. All right. So let's do this. Let's search for Roger Harmon, just for kicks. And oh, look at, yeah, that's a great search. Looks like search is not, oh look, that doesn't look like me, does it? And that didn't work either. Okay, well, let's just go into one of these. Well, see, I don't want to go into one of these other sites because there might be a copyright problem. That's why I was going into my site, which I don't care if I'm copyrighting. Okay, so let's do this. So let's see here if we have any more questions while we're messing around here. Okay, so we have some. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So Leslie says, Grammarly is stupid. It's always then I. Okay. For example, he is taller than me. And I'm not disrespecting anybody. And so we have a little discussion going on here. So thanks for chiming in. And so you can, download Grammarly now that you know how, and write a sentence that he is taller than me. Okay, so we'll do that. So we're going to see if I can copy this sentence here, and it doesn't look like I can copy it. Okay, so I am going to go back into Grammarly. So here's Grammarly down in our doc. So there's Grammarly, and I'm going to move this over so I can see what I'm typing. So he is taller Okay, he is taller than me. So Grammarly is calculating over here on the right-hand panel. And so Grammarly is saying over here that it's looking good. So do we agree with, oh, I see what you're saying, Leslie Ann. Okay, what did I spell incorrectly? So Leslie Ann says, will Grammarly connect disrespecting? Okay, let's find out. So I'm going to go back here to Grammarly. And I'm going to do a new line. And I'm going to spell S-P-E-C-T-I-N-G. So we'll make this into a sentence. Let's see. He is disrespecting me. So Grammarly is calculating, and so it says it's looking good. So I guess that means that GoFor Technology. Oh, I misspelled GoFor Technology. I see. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Kay. Can't spell GoFor Technology. Gee, that's bad. GoFor Technology. Y-O-G-Y. It's amazing how it works when you spell it correctly. Okay, thank you, Kay. So let's just go here and find something. So this is how you can watch the replays, number one. So you can see here, this is the edition of Go for Lunch, number 40 that we're on now. So it's 39, 38, 37, and it goes on and on and on. So what I was going to try to do is click on one of these and then go down here. We don't want this to play, so we're going to stop that here. And I was trying to see if Grammarly would pop up in, and it's not popping up. So I'm going to have to check on that. Oh, here we go. So you see up here on the top, you see the green circle with the G in the middle. When you mouse over that, it says Grammarly. So now, Grammarly for Safari, we're logged in. Check for writing suggestions on YouTube, that's on. Show definitions and synonyms via double clicks, all sites. We're going to turn that on. Correct spelling automatically is on. Show phrasal predictions, which is a new feature, which is on. And I write in American English. And it has been correcting my text since October 2015. So isn't that interesting? So now we're going to click down here, and I'm still looking for the little indication in the lower right hand corner that shows that Grammarly is working, and this is obviously a bad example. So let's try this. I'm going to add a comment here. This is a comment to find out if, yep, it's working. See the little red underline? Let's see if it knows how to spell Grammarly. Is working correct. Okay, so there we go. Let me zoom in on this so you can see this. Let's see, where do we go here? I'm trying to make it bigger. And okay, it looks like when I tried to make it bigger, I lost the comments. So there should be a little thing to click on to see the comments. Okay, that's not it. Okay, well, we're not going to mess with that. So I will, so up here in the upper right hand corner, says notifications may include, so this is asking permission to let Grammarly give you notifications. So our options are allow or don't allow. I'm going to allow Grammarly. So that is pretty much how Grammarly works. So I think you got the idea. So there we go. So here we go. So thank you for all of your help here. And I see. Okay, we have a Grammarly. I can't even say it. So that's great. And Barbara is getting a kick out of this. And Susan and Leslie Ann are in agreement. So Susan makes a great point. So there is obviously a spell checker built into the Mac operating system and iOS. And as Susan points out, Pages underlines words that it thinks are not correct, and it doesn't always come up with accurate things either. And Leslie Ann says that you two are the only ones that speak English. Does anybody want to discuss how many of us speak English? Good point, Barbara. Grammarly needs to go back to school. So Bob, where did you put the link for the Apple TV remote? Was that in here? I didn't see it. Let me look and see where that was. So we're going to go back here to Keynote, and we obviously have covered questions, which I appreciate all your participation. That makes this better for everyone. And at this point in time, I'm open to questions about anything, like Stanley asked about an Apple TV remote. So if you have any questions about anything, and so Susan has been doing grammar for a long time, and Barbara has her beat. So I have a little contest going on. And Leslie Ann learned grammar in Los Angeles. So while we're waiting for any questions about anything, let me remind you that if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can then help me out that way, because YouTube likes to see more subscribers. And so that's right. And when you subscribe, you can click the little bell to the right of subscribe, and that will notify you when we go online. As always, have mask will travel. We will make house calls suitably attired, and I've got several this afternoon actually. So we do also screen sharing for things that can be done with a screen share, which is not everything. So, not seeing any other questions. Thank you again for everybody for showing up. I appreciate that. We'll be back here next Tuesday at high noon for GoFor Lunch number 41. So please join us then. If you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to call me or email me at the following. Take care.